This year's winter initiation season is wrapping up. Cogta in Limpopo will host closing ceremonies for several initiation schools in the province. Now, let's speak to the MEC, Basikopo Makamu, who joins us from Tafelkop. A very good morning to you, MEC, and thank you so much for joining us. So, of course, when you speak initiation season, one of the first things that have now, unfortunately, recently come to mind is the deaths of initiates, of course, who are involved in the initiation ceremonies. But are you able to then just, calm the concerns of South Africans at large? Because this is not just about the families whose children are going out into these initiation ceremonies. Are you able to calm the concerns of South Africans at large that, initiation season in Limpopo at least is going well?
Well, thanks very much for the opportunity. But I must also indicate that after we waited for the past 2 years without initiation schools in our province due to the challenges of the COVID-19, we had a high number of initiates. And of course, one death is too many that we will not accept, that when parents take their children to the initiation schools, you end up having a situation where boys do not come back home. It's one thing that as provincial government, as traditional leadership and parents, we should be working together and ensure that there is a zero tolerance, making sure that we comply. If we can comply with all the legislations and the provisions of the legislations, it will minimize. You will see now that we should promote our cultural practice, but at the same time considers that we are at this 21st century where modernization is there. We should be able to balance the two within our communities. But I must say that we did, of course, have a painful situation where we lost some few initiates. It's a matter that has got its own challenge in each case by case, but we are worried as a provincial government. We are also continuing to have learned lessons out of these ones, initiation schools, and make improvements as we go to the next season of the initiation schools.
MEC, unfortunately, as you're speaking about the loss of lives, juxtaposes to the demand of initiates participating in initiation, during the initiation process. It raises a concern around how many bogus schools there still are. If we have to perhaps look at the statistics in the Eastern Cape, where the Eastern Cape reporting more illegal initiation schools than legal initiation schools. Now, if you have to consider the Limpopo province, as well as obviously with the existence of some illegal initiation schools, how do we then intervene in the situation so that we don't find ourselves with initiates going to the incorrect initiation schools, having the loss of lives that is subsequent to that? And I also understand that what is never spoken about, especially with us, even in the media, is not only about the loss of lives, MEC, it's also about how many boys are coming back, but coming back castrated.
Thanks very much. Let me indicate the demand was so high in some quarters or some areas in our area. Let me give an example that I had to visit the initiation school in Maseke, around Mopani, in Palagora specifically. You find that hardly 5 days after the initiation schools has been started, you have got more than 1,000 initiates already. At the time I visited the initiation school, there were more than 2,300 initiates in one initiation. And you will see that people are continuing to come, even if both the senior traditional leader and the traditional surgeon, and say, now we think the school has reached its ceiling, we can't accommodate or admit anymore. Parents will want to do some illegal things to want their children to be admitted. When I just suppose that with the challenges of illegal initiation schools like you raised, that will be the reason that other people will want now to take chances when they see that other initiation school is receiving a lot of initiates. Then they will want to consider having illegal. I must say that in our province, we had almost 29 illegal initiation schools, which we tried to follow the legislations and try to close them. We won the court matters, we took the matters to court and say, we will not allow. But we find that we have got a challenge in implementation because parents who are the owners of the children, they like to participate in illegal activities. Now you realize that when we want to close, they want to fight with the police. They want to have even illegal firearms that they will want to defend that their initiation schools. This is one of the things that I have observed that I will be able to take it with the senior traditional leaders. I will take also with the House of Traditional Leaders in the province, because we can't allow illegal things, because we can't even regulate how they are doing their initiation schools there, because there are some prescribed forms that must be completed. We should be able to allow the health department to come and oversee. So such things in illegal initiation schools will not take place. It's one area which we are left with, which we still have to fight, but will only be won with the help of the parents, because they're the ones who are taking their children to illegal initiate. But we do promote which legal initiations are allowed, and we'll be able to mobilize people to know, and what is it that they must request to show whether this initiation schools is illegal or legal. We do have some of the documentation that we prove to people that they should take their children on these legal initiation schools.
MEC, just before we let you go, we would just like to look at a different matter and get some feedback from you as of course, an official from the province of Limpopo. The murder of Mayor Moses Maluleke, of course, it's still something that we understand is being investigated at the moment. Of course, the mayor of the Collins Chabane municipality. Just speak to us about just how heavy a loss this is for the province, and essentially just what this means for the province to have lost an official of his stature, of course, in the manner in which he has been lost, and what exactly it says about the province itself and the kinds of criminal activities in that province.
Let me say, I was there yesterday together with the Premier. The Premier, on behalf of the provincial government and on his behalf, offered the word of condolences to the family. You will know that I have been working very closely with the mayor of Collins Chabane, the late comrade Moses Big Mos Maluleke, a patron to development and the service delivery, committed somebody. If you can get to the history of that municipality that was just established in 2016, if you can get inside the town of Malamulele, where the head office of Collins Chabane municipalities are, you will see a serious makeshift upliftment of the area. The area we never thought we'll see robots there. The area will see there will be no tar roads there. The area will see in communities where pavements are taking place, where projects which are started get to be finished out of his leadership. But what you will learn out of him, whenever there were challenges, he will want to resolve challenges of the community in a very amicable way. I worked with him when we resolved the Vuani matter, which I think it's well documented within your platform here. He was so brave. We were able, both of us, meet with the senior traditional leaders, convince everybody. As I'm talking out of his leadership, there is no more go area in around Collins Chabane. We resolve, he's going there, he meet with people there. I don't know, what can I say? There's something which I can say, which will be, if people ask us who to brutally murder like this, maybe we will have offered some other people who could be somehow doing things in a bad way, because that we have. But with Big Mos, it was somebody, I was shown, I was at his house, how they killed him like a very ugly somebody, a humble somebody who cannot even kill a fly, who has been killed in a very, very dramatic way.
Well, very quickly, in 30 seconds, MEC, at this moment in time as investigations are underway, do you have any word whether or not it was just a random or was it actually a hit?
Well, the way you see it, because I'm told they just said they want man. He did not necessarily, they didn't even give him an opportunity to look whether there's money or not. They took him to a particular corner and started to shoot him. When the young child, the son, tried to help, they just also shot that child and they ran away. So you wouldn't say maybe the issue of money was just an introduction to want to execute him in style like they did. I don't think they wanted money because they could have tried to break a house or to do some other things. So as for now, like the Premier said, we're leaving every matter to the investigation. Thank the General Fanima Simula, who have offered that they will work around the clock to see that maybe within 72 hours they apprehend the victims. That will be so important for us to know these people, what is it that Big Moss did for them and they wanted from.
MEC, thank you so much for joining us here on the South African morning, this Saturday morning. That was Cogta MEC in the province of Limpopo, Basikopo Makamu. Of course, just sharing some light into the matter of the initiation schools and the ceremonies that the province is going to be hosting for the initiation schools as the season draws to a close, as well as, of course, just giving feedback regarding the killing of the mayor of the Collins Chabane municipality, Mayor Moses Malule.